Hi guys, I'm Clem and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be sharing with you everything I read and watched during the month of March. So as usual there will be books but also movies and TV series, except this month I haven't watched any TV series except RuPaul, but I'm not going to include it. So yeah, we should start right now. So the first movie I've watched this month was Isn't It Romantic on Netflix. So in this movie we're following Natalie, who is played by Rebel Wilson. I don't know how to say her name. Rebel Wilson? Let's go with Rebel Wilson. So yeah, with Rebel Wilson. And so she's this not very successful actually, but she's an architect in New York, and the thing is that since she's a little girl, she doesn't believe in love and in romance and everything that's romantic, especially romantic movies. And so she has her best friend, dude, that's actually really into her, but she doesn't see it because she doesn't believe into love. And so one day she gets attacked on the subway and she hits her head, and when she wakes up she's in this very romantic New York, like everything is just like in a romantic movie. There's flowers everywhere, she's very successful, there is songs, people singing, people dancing, and it's actually really fun to watch because it plays on every cliches of the romantic movies, and so it's really fun to see like people making fun of those cliches. I love it. Yeah, it was really funny for me, especially because I love romantic movies and I love also making fun of it because there are so many things that don't make sense, like for instance people singing together and knowing the all same choreography when they don't know each other. It's one of my best things. Like I love it, it's so ridiculous, but still. Isn't It Romantic was a really fun movie and I think I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 stars. And the first book I finished this month was Wildcard by Mary Lou. So this is the sequel and the conclusion to Warcross by Mary Lou, of course. So if you don't know what Warcross is, we're in this very near future where everybody is playing this game called Warcross, and it's a virtual reality game. And so we're following Emeka Chen, and Emeka Chen is a bounty hunter. And so on the day of the opening of the Worldwide Championship, she hacks the game to steal something, but then the director and creator of the game, Hideo Tanaka, calls her to ask her to be a part of the championship in order to find someone that's actually threatening the game. So she does it and everything, and that's basically the first book. And the second book, I had high expectations for it because the ending of the first one was really like ended on a cliffhanger, and I wanted to know more and I wanted to have answers. So I had answers, but it was really great, but I didn't really like the ending. Like for me it was in a way too easy. So I don't know, it was really great, but I prefer the first one. And this second one is way more like tricky in a way because everybody is hiding secrets from other people, and we discover something that's just crazy, really crazy. Like I couldn't believe it. I was like, how could this happen in this world? And at the same time it's really interesting because it makes you question a lot of things about ethics and about is it okay to do bad things for a good reason or not? Like what's the difference between good people that do bad things for the good reason and bad people that... I mean, this sort of questions. So yeah, I think I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars, I'm not sure. So the second movie I've watched this month was Escape Game. So this came out in March in France. So basically in this movie we're following these 6 people who don't know each other's, and they were all invited to be a part of this escape game. And so they all meet, and actually the escape game is really real and people could actually die. And in the movie you understand that actually they all have something in common, but I'm not going to tell you why. And so it's not an horror movie, it's really a thriller with a lot of sensation and a lot of angst, I would say, because nothing is scary. And it was really interesting because so the people who does this escape game that's actually really real, they play with the mind of the people locked inside. Like they have stuff that will trigger something for them, that will put them in a bad situation, and it's really interesting to see that, like how they did that in order to put them at heel his. Also, I really enjoyed seeing like the different escape room, because there are 5 or 6 different, and it was brilliant to see like the clues they had to find and how they had to solve the problem. It was amazing because I love escape rooms, so I loved it. But I'm going to put 3 out of 5 stars because there are some things that were not possible for me. Like at one point a girl does a thing like and I was like, it's not possible, like it's not scientifically possible, like it can't happen. But still, it was fun to watch and really interesting. The second book I've read this month was A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. So I read this for school because I have an essay to do on it. And it was a reread for me because I actually read it a lot of time. I read this almost every Christmas, or at least I try. It's one of my favorite Dickens stories. If you don't know what it is, basically you're following Scrooge, and Scrooge is really not a nice man, is really selfish and self-centered, it's the same thing, and greedy and everything. But one day on the Christmas Eve he received the visit of his old friend Marley, who is telling him that he will be visited by 3 ghosts. And so each ghost represents a Christmas. So there is the ghost of Christmas past, the ghost of Christmas, of present Christmas, and the ghost of future Christmas. And so throughout what the ghosts are going to show him, he's going to learn a lot of things about him, but also about society and about the people surrounding him. And it's really interesting. I love it, so I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, I think. And finally, this month I've watched Captain Marvel, and it was time for me to see it because everybody had seen it, and I was like, I don't. And I needed to see it in order to be able to see Endgame that's coming this month, but yeah, that's something else. So I really enjoyed it. It was really interesting. I really liked that it was not happening in our time, like in the 90s. I loved it because I love the 90s. Actually, I can't really tell you what's happening because if I start telling you, I'm sure I'm going to spoil you, even though I'm sure most of you have seen it, but still I don't want to spoil anyone. So if you want to see it, just go watch a trailer or go watch the movie, it's better. But yeah, it was really nice to have this before Endgame. And I really liked everything that was in it. I love seeing Fury young, but also Coulson. Nice, I like that. And it was really funny at some point. I really laughed. And also, I liked her. I like Carol, but I mean, I'm not as attached to her as the rest of them. And I like this movie, but not as much as other Marvels, because for me, we're in this middle of a huge thing that's called Infinity Wars and Endgame, and we have all of fairy characters that are dead, and Marvel is introducing us to Carol, and okay, I like her, but right now I don't really care about her because Spidey is dead and a lot of people are dead, and I'm still mourning their death, and I can't wait to see what will happen in Endgame. So it was really nice, but I think I will enjoy it even better once Endgame is out. This month I also rewatched a very old movie that I hadn't watched since I'm 8 or something like that, and it's Dinosaur, the Disney movie. I was very nostalgic while watching this movie, and I think this is why I love dinosaurs so much today, because of this movie. Because when I was a kid I watched it all the time. I had this tape and I would put it every time on TV, and it was so cool to see it, and I had forgot so many things. It's really a cute movie, I love it. I give it a 5 out of 5 stars. And last but not least, this month I finally finished Magnus Chase and the Armor of Thor by Rick Riordan. So this is the second book in the Magnus Chase and the Northern God and the God of Asgard trilogy. So this trilogy is about Magnus Chase, and Magnus Chase is actually the son of an Asgardian god, Frey. And so in the first book he discovers that he is his father, but in this one actually the armor of Thor got stolen by giants, and so Magnus and his friends have to find it and to give it back to Thor, because Loki could get his hand on it and it could start Ragnarok, and it will be very bad because Ragnarok basically means the end of the world, so no please. So this one, it took me a really long time to read it because I had started it in October or something like that, and we're in March and I finally finished it, but it was really good, especially this ending. Like the last 2 words of the book are like, I was like, oh, I need to pick the last one, I need to know what will happen, I need it. And so yeah, I think I will read the last one next month, but we will see that later. I really like this book also because we're introduced to a new character, Alex Fierro, and Alex Fierro is gender fluid. I don't like talking about that because I'm so afraid of making a mistake, but basically like she doesn't see herself as either a boy or a girl, but both. Like at some point she's going to see herself as a guy, and the next minute she could see herself as a girl. So it was really interesting to see that, and this is something I like with Rick Riordan is that he puts so much diversity in his book. It's so refreshing because in Magnus Chase we have a deaf person, we have Alex Fierro, who's gender fluid. Magnus Chase is actually pansexual. We have Samira, who is actually, I don't know how to say it, but she wears an hijab and she is Muslim. And I think it's really amazing. And I think there's also a black person. I think Hearthstone is black, I'm not sure. And so I really like it because there's really like diversity, and it's something really important nowadays, so thank you Rick. So yeah guys, that's it for today. I hope you liked it. Tell me in the comment down below what you've read in March, I would love to know. Also don't forget to subscribe to the channel, but also to follow me on the different social media to see me talk about books if you want. And yeah, I will see you next time. Bye guys!